That Man and His Manga.
Hello and welcome to That Man. This is my anime pickups of, well, September and October. There's not a huge amount, but hey, we'll have a look at some fantastic anime, shall we? First up, we have Makoto Shinkai's Weathering With You, the creator of, well, the director of Your Name and many other titles. Now, Weathering With You was an interesting title because it wasn't one that I felt got as much hype as Your Name did. Your Name I felt was absolutely everywhere when it was popular. However, I believe overall this one actually did do better, especially over in the Western market. And yeah, I quite like this movie. Now, Your Name is a movie that I absolutely loved when I was in the cinema. Loved it to bits. And when I watched it again on Blu-ray, I wasn't quite as fussed. And since then, Weathering With You was released in the cinema. I watched it at Scotland Loves Anime last year, and I've then since watched Your Name again, and then obviously the DVD, well, Blu-ray was released, and yeah, it's interesting. So the problem I have with Weathering With You is it's too much like Your Name, and I don't think it's really got that kick that Your Name had. It's still a fantastic movie, I just don't feel it was quite as good. It kind of felt like it was trying to hit all of the same notes and then try and do something a little bit different. And yeah, it's still a fantastic movie. It's still absolutely fine. It's just, I just don't think it's quite as good as Your Name. Obviously this had the soundtrack in, so I was kind of like, yep, I need another Radwimp soundtrack in my life, so I will certainly pick up this Blu-ray and watch it again. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I have watched it at a friend's house, so yeah, we have managed to watch it since it's been released a few times. So it's yeah, it's one that I would recommend picking up if you liked Your Name and you want something a little bit more the same. It's yeah. Next up is New Game ! And New Game ! Season 2, well, Season 1 and 2 of New Game. And yeah, this is an interesting one because I watched this way back when Season 1 was airing, week by week, and I absolutely loved it, to the point I actually do want to pick up the manga. And since then, I never actually went back and watched Season 2, and Manga UK announced this at the beginning of the year that was coming out, and I had it on order for absolutely ages, and it just kept getting put back. But it finally managed to drop it over the last few weeks, so yeah, I'm really looking forward. Actually, I say I'm looking forward to it. I actually started watching New Game Season 1 last night, and it's still as fun as I remember. It's about a young girl who ends up working as a video game designer, so it's got that nice office work atmosphere that's going to hit with a lot of people who work a desk job, but it's still got that whole cute girl does cute thing vibe going on. Cute girl does realistic thing, I suppose. And I think that's probably what the appeal is. I really liked it when I watched it the first time. I was really getting into it again last night. I'm really tempted to actually pick up the manga for it. Whether or not I will, it's one that I've had on my eye, and because Seven Seas are kind of starting to out of print some of their titles, I'm kind of thinking, do I just bite the bullet and pick it up now while I still can, or do I leave it? I'll have a think about that, and I'll decide at a later date. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my rewatch of New Game, and I'm looking forward to checking out New Game Season 2 or New Game ! Next up is another title that I know that I have spoke about quite a bit, and that is the Quintessential Quintuplets. And this is Season 1 by Manga UK. So yeah, this is an interesting title. It's a romance comedy done rather right. I see a lot of romance manga, and I don't like to write a lot of them off, but I don't know, a lot of them just miss their mark for me. But this one, I don't know, it feels like I don't know, it feels different. You're rooting for every single one of these girls to get with the main character, but you know that he's only going to end up with one of them due to the way it's set in stone at the very beginning. There's none of this illusion that, oh, he's going to have a harem at the very end, and it's quite painful to know that some of these girls are not going to end up being the one for him. It's yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I am quite a bit further in the manga. In fact, I'm at a turning point in the manga where we kind of have an idea of who the childhood girl was, and yeah, it just continues to be really good. I really enjoyed my rewatch of this. However, something I did notice, and this is coming down to a Funimation issue, I watched both of this and New Game dub because if I'm tired, and I am tired, I'm recovering from a little bit of surgery, it's like pretty much every single one of these voice actresses are obviously in New Game as well, so it's kind of like, does Funimation have other voice actresses, or do we just have the same ones over and over again? Also, I'm not sure about his Futuro's voice actor. It just seems weird, but that's the pain of getting the dub. I can at least rewatch it in sub and just be like, ah yes, this is a lot better. I only rewatched this. I watched it. This is at Christmas time last year. So when I rewatched it a few nights ago, I was kind of just like, I was half watching it. But again, it's one that I know I can easily rewatch when season 2 drops. I can just stick this on and enjoy it for a few hours. And it's a lot of good fun. I would really recommend checking this one out if you have not had the chance to do so far. Last but in no means least is this absolutely fantastic release of Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Season 1. Now, if you guys are aware of me and aware of this channel, you know how much I love Konosuba. I regularly read the light novel, and it's just one that I absolutely adore. And I was really happy that Anime Limited, of all people, got the license, because look at how well put together this series is. It looks absolutely fantastic in terms of the artwork on the box, and we get even more nice artwork inside it. That's right, we obviously get a Darkness, and we get an Eris version inside. It's a little bit off at the sides, but yeah, honestly I love Konosuba so much that it's just so worth being able to own this in a really high quality set. It even comes with a nice little art book as well. Yeah, which actually has some interesting stuff. It's Konosuba Book 1. Obviously there's a lot of storyboards, and stuff like that in there. I really like, I think it's at the back where it's like the alternate versions of the logos. I don't know if you can see them on here. So there we've got like a Final Fantasy version, what's it called? Not Radiant Historia, Saga. I think there's another. I think that's another Final Fantasy. Well, there's a Monster Hunter one, and a few others. I think that's like the Dragon Quest version. There's a few other different versions. That one reminds us of something. I can't think of what it is. Maybe Bravely Default or something like that. I can recognise it, the way it's done, but I can't really put a name to it. But yeah, absolutely fantastic release of Konosuba from Anime Limited, and they do have season 2, so I know I'm going to be picking that up as soon as it releases. I believe they're waiting on the US masters so they can just pull them off and put them on to a disc a lot more quicker. So yeah, that's my anime haul for this month. Like I said, I think all of them are pretty strong. There's a lot of stuff I will be able to rewatch over and over again at my own leisure, which is always a good sign when you're buying an anime. So many times I buy stuff and I'll watch it and I was like, that was good, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But at least these three, actually, even Weather and Review, a movie I can tend to put on a night anyway. But these three definitely I can easily rewatch. And oh, let me know if I should pick up the manga version of New Game. That's yeah, I'd be interested to know if that's worth the time in watching. But yeah, that's it for me. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like, please consider subscribing, and I will have a manga haul up very shortly in the next few days. I will see you back then. Goodbye.